right? It's horrible in this area. You just sit on your couch and do nothing, right? Right? No, you're like, that's ridiculous. We're going to call the police and make sure that they follow up and they do an investigation and see what's going on, right? Now, why is that any different when it comes to an air pollution or air quality violation?
It shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. Did you know we have actually air police here in Imperial County? They work for the Air Pollution Control District, okay? Also known as the APCD, okay? Now, how many air police do you think we have in all the county? 4? Okay, Sky says 2. 4? Okay, anybody else? Lucy says 2.
Compared to the real police, that's the amount that we should have, right? Because it's the amount of people that live here.
No,
maybe like 1,000.
You think we have 1,000 air police?
We have one.
Okay, we have 3 air police for the entire county. Now listen up though.
This is where we come.
This is where we come in, that's right. That's where we come in. We have to be, in a sense, like neighborhood watch, but when it comes to air pollution, okay? Because we need to be their eyes, we need to be their ears, and we need to be their noses too. Okay? On Thursday, I got a call on my cell phone, and it was a lady who lives in Calapat. And she's like, Tonique, there's a lot of dust coming from this nearby feedlot. She's like, what do I do? Who do I call? Is there anything we could do? I was like, absolutely. You need to report that to who? The air police. And who's the air police? The air police is the Air Pollution Control District, also known as the APCD. So another part of your homework today is I want you to write down this number. And this is the air police's number. The regular police's number is what? 911. All right? Everybody knows that, right? And now, did everybody know that because we were born with that knowledge? No, we were educated as children that this is the number we call when we have a civil disturbance or when we need something. But you know what? As educators here, as people, a part of our community, we need to do the same approach and educate everybody we know what the number is. And you guys are like, well, tell me the number, right? It's 482-4606. I have it memorized because I call it a lot. It's 482-4606. Now, just as the 911 response number, it took a lot of education to do so, and we teach our children that. We need to do the same thing with the air police's number. Okay? It's 482-4606.
Is there, if I got that number, there will be someone that will answer me, or is there going to be a machine?
That's a great question. Let me get back to my Thursday scenario. Let me get back to my Thursday scenario. That number, you can call it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. However, if it is after business hours, a machine does pick up. But you leave a message. You can leave an anonymous tip. You don't have to leave your name and number. But if you want to know what they did to follow up to your complaint, you can leave your name and number, and they will call you right away. Thursday was the last time I called, and I reported what was going on in Calapat. I also even had the lady call, and I said, you know what, you need to get your friends and neighbors to call too, because they need to document that into public record what's going on. Okay? I called literally 20, 30 minutes later. I left a message on the machine. I got a call from one of the inspectors asking me questions. Okay, where exactly is this location? All right, we're going to go on our way. Okay? So, each of us can do that. And you're probably thinking like, well, what's a case in which I can do that? Right? One case like I used over there is excess dust from a feedlot. There are county rules, there are state rules, there are federal rules that every facility needs to comply with in order to mitigate or reduce dust coming from their facility. So if you see excess dust coming from a feedlot, if you see excess dust coming from a construction site, because they're supposed to water it down to a certain point where there's not all this dust being kicked up. If you see someone burning something and you're not quite too sure if they're actually allowed to burn or what have you. If you see an agricultural burn and it is getting out of control, because technically they're supposed to allow those things when the weather conditions are conducive to the smoke going straight up in the air. But if you see it carrying across the road, carrying across the highway, if you live out in the country and that is bothering you, you need to report that. Another thing as well, I grew up out in the country, out by Calapat, and a lot of times, I didn't know this growing up, and now as an adult, I'm like, geez, I really need like a body scan of some kind. But like, you know, pesticides, the crop dusters coming over our house and so forth, you know, if they're close to your property, you need to report that. There are laws in place, such as there are laws in place that protects us from someone stealing our property. There are laws in place that protects us and guarantees us the right to breathe clean air. However, we have to report it, and we have to teach our neighbors, we have to teach our friends who we need to call, what the number is, and when we need to call. Okay, so you guys, if you guys see an air pollution violation, are you going to report it?
Yes, we are. 482, 4606.
I'm sorry? Oh, what do they do to them? Oftentimes, sometimes what they do is they'll give a warning if there's no record of it. What they do is they'll fine them, okay? And sometimes they will prohibit them from carrying out their business operations until they're in compliance. So there's different things that they can do. And it doesn't really look good for a business doing that too. Okay. So there's different steps depending upon the violation, the extent of the violation, and so forth. Now it's important to report it and not assume someone else is going to report it, right? If we were to see someone getting like in a car accident or someone get beat up, we don't want to assume, well, someone else is taking care of the problem, because most likely they're thinking the exact same thing about you. Okay. If any of us have taken first aid response, one of the first things they tell you is you designate a person to go call, the emergency number, right? So the same thing is true with air pollution. We each need to take the initiative. Also, as people who work in the community, I think it's very important for us to monitor air quality, get those air quality alerts, so then we are able to, in a sense, sometimes even gauge, you know what, we had a bad air day yesterday, so I'm probably going to see a lot of patients today that are having these respiratory problems. So I monitor the air quality index, the AQI, at imperialvalleyair.org. Also, we can modify our behavior. Okay. So how do we...
Sorry, I have a question.
Yes.
Does the fire department, if they go out on a call on a fire, do they have to report it to the air pollution also?
You know what? That is an excellent question. I'm not quite too sure about that. But however, if you want to contact me, I will follow up with the APCD and county fire. That's a great question. And maybe that's something that we do need to look at